What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another Ticker video and welcome to the Ticker family. So the symbol we're going to be talking about today is AJAX or AJAX, specifically how this SPAC company is going to be merging with CAZOO. Now, what we're going to be doing is breaking down that company, some of the highlights that I wanted to point out, and then we'll finish this video off with a chart analysis. For those that have been supporting me so far, I really do appreciate it. It means so much to me, so thank you so much. And if you're here for the first time, welcome to the channel. And with that being said, let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so with CAZOO, what they are is a company where you can go online and buy used cars. Now, if they're anything like Carvana, they are going to make so much money. I can tell you personally, I've used Carvana. There was no hassle between the buyer and the seller. The person actually showed up. They had their vehicle that allowed them to pick up the car, but the transaction and the whole entire experience took probably about 10 minutes, and then they left a check. It was amazing. So if there's anything at all about this company, about what they do or anything like that, that's going to be great. Now let's actually look at the investor relations with AJAX. So AJAX is another SPAC company, right? Special acquisition company. So here's the thing, they're a blank check company. So what I wanted to show you though is take a look at the SEC filing. So when you click on that page, this page pops up, and so what you'll see is you'll see some of these filings. So you've got 8K, 10K, right? 8K. I mean, it just keeps going down. And so what I wanted to do was point that out and give you some information on that. And so let's check it out. So when it comes to the Form 8K, what is an 8K? So it's a report of unscheduled material events or corporate changes at a company that could be of importance to the shareholders. So what can be some of those notifiers? So that's going to be public events, including acquisitions, bankruptcy, the resignation of directors, or changes in the fiscal year. So I wanted to point this out because it's not something to be afraid of, or, you know, what is this Form 8K? What does that even mean? I mean, clearly it's something that we know, and that's going to be the whole acquisition. That's going to be the merger. And so nothing to be afraid of, nothing to be worried about. Now, what is the 10K? So a 10K is the comprehensive report filed annually or by a publicly traded company about its financial performance. So again, it's not a big deal. I mean, all it does is talk about its history, organizational structure, financial statements, earnings per share, and so on. So it's giving you that data. So again, nothing to be afraid of, nothing that's going to hurt the catalyst. If anything, it's going to bring up that growth stock, right? So that's going to help with CAZOO and AJAX. And by the way, with CAZOO, it's in the UK. So this is a good online opportunity, I think, that's going to help us a lot. So before we actually break down the chart, you got to understand how to read candlestick charts. Now, you always hear this, but most of the time, candlestick charts are now the de facto charting style on most trading platforms. So knowing how to read these candlestick charts is the utmost importance. So what is a candlestick chart? Now, candlestick charting is simply a method of displaying price information in a market. So unlike a simple line chart, each series on a candlestick chart contains 4 data points. So these are the 4 data points that I want you to know, and always keep this in your long-term memory forever. So you've got the opening price, the high price, the low price, and the closing price. Now, here's what you need to know specifically, or an example of the candlestick, the anatomy itself. And what's that is going to be the basic features. So with the body, this indicates the open and close range. Now with the wick, right, you've seen these bodies with these tall lines, okay? Those are called tails or shadows. Now, which these tails or wicks, that's what I call them, are the long thin lines above and below that main body. Now, these reveal the intraday highs and the lows. So keep that in mind. So that's how you know what's going on every single day. Now the color, which I feel like most of us have a good understanding of what it represents, so that's going to be the direction of price movement. Now a green or a green body basically shows a price increase, while a red, right, that body indicates a price decrease. But again, like I'll talk about, is what it opens up. If it closes higher than what it opened up at, that's going to be in the green. Then it's vice versa for the red. So the body, the main body colored portion of the candlestick, shows you the opening price and the closing price of that stock, right? So that's exactly what that means. So I just want to point that out because you have to understand the open highs, lows, and the close. Now, examples of popular candlestick patterns are going to be the bullish hammer pattern, the bullish engulfing candlestick, and the bullish morning star candlestick. Now, with the bullish hammer pattern, the hammer candlestick pattern is formed of a short body with a long lower wick and is found at the bottom of a downward trend. Now, this pattern is a strong indication that a reversal is about to occur. It tells you that the sellers are giving up and buyers are taking over. Now, when it comes to the bullish engulfing candlestick, the bullish engulfing pattern is formed of two candlesticks. The first candlestick is a short red body that is fully engulfed by a bigger green candle. So it is perhaps the most sought out after bullish candlestick pattern, as it is more confirming of a bullish move in the price of a stock. Now, this pattern shows pure and unquestionable control by the buyers and almost always results in higher trending prices. Now, with that being said, let's talk about the bullish morning star candlestick. The morning star, this pattern forms, basically up the bottom of a downtrend and is made up of three candles. So the first candle is any long and bearish candle. The second one is a small and indecisive. And then you've got the third candle that is any long and bullish candle, right? So keep that in mind. I'm sure you might have heard these before, but in order for to be able to read a candlestick chart and understand those price trends, you've got to understand that because there's going to be highs, lows, peaks, and valleys, right? So you got to be able to pinpoint an uptrend, right? The higher highs and the higher lows, or downtrend, which consists of lower highs and lower lows. So I hope that helps you while we talk about this chart overall, because I feel like this is going to help you not only for this video, but for any other time you've watched a video or when you hear someone talk about it, or when I talk about it and I do analysis on these companies. When you're looking at Ajax, right? When you're looking at the chart, what I want to point out always is going to be right here, which is going to be that bar. So on that bar, you'll be able to see that the volume, right? So that's going to be buys and sells, not one or the other, right? So when you're looking at the trend line, the support and the resistance, always keep that in mind, because that's what's going to make it fluctuate when it's going to show the green body or the red body, right? So keep in mind, so when you're looking at that green body, all that means is that it closed higher than what it opened up at. So some of the information that you're going to want to think about is going to be what are the catalysts. So for CAZOO, the UK's leading online car retailer, announces a $7 billion business combination with Ajax, right? So clearly that's what's going to make it shoot up. Now, CAZOO is one of the Europe's fastest growing digital business, right? Now, it's growing 300% year over year, with expected 2021 revenues approaching to 1 billion. So clearly, when we see this in Q3 and Q4, it's going to shoot up more. And so if you're doing long-term hold for this, I mean, it's going to benefit for you. Now, with that being said, when you're looking at this company, again, if it's anything like Carvana, that's a major deal. Now, Ajax is a $805 million SPAC. Now, they were founded and re-owned by U.S. investor Dan OCH, right, in partnership with Glenn Fromm and a team of strategic advisors, including founders of Chipotle, Instagram, Square, and 23andMe. So again, some good information that I think is feasible for you to know, because I feel like it's going to help you to understand what's going on, and so you can make some of those decisions. But when you're looking at the chart, you want to think about those investment highlights, right? Significant 700 billion opportunity, hyper growth, right? So over 20,000 cars already delivered in UK, with the annual run rate revenue exceeding 600 million just in the first quarter of 2021. Now, again, CAZOO expects revenues approach of $1 billion in 2021. So that would be growing at 300%. So clearly that's going to be a big deal. But overall, you got to think about those billions, right? So keep that in mind. Now, when I'm looking at that trend line, they've had a low of a 985, right? But they've had a high of 1385. So I would say that the new support is going to be roughly around $10. Now, it opened up at 996, had a high of 1021, closed at a low of 95. So again, I would still say the support is around $10, and then we're going to have a resistance, I would say, almost at 11. So they're going to be fluctuating between 10 and 11. But I guarantee you, when we keep getting these new quarters and we hear what those results are with the revenues, it's going to bump up, especially now that we've gotten through March. I mean, thank goodness we've gotten through March, because that by itself was a hard correction. And so now that we've kind of driven through that, we should be okay. So anyways, guys, I hope this was added value. I appreciate you listening. Thank you so much for tuning in. Hopefully you're able to take this information and either buy or sell or whatever the case is. I'm not a financial advisor, but I know there are a lot of opportunities with this company, and I want to give you all the information that you can have. That way you can make the best decision. So thank you so much for listening. And with that being said, welcome to the Ticker Feed family.